Welcome back. This session is going to be a little bit harder. So we're going to start by having fun, and then hopefully it'll carry your spirits through the conversation that's ahead of us. So some more true or nots. True or nots? Who wants to do their true or not right now? Alrighty, thank you very much. Stand on up. To produce a pound of honey, a single bee has to visit 4 million flowers. True or not? And the answer is? Only 2 million flowers. There you go. There you go. Yes?
Cows kill more people than sharks do.
Cows kill more people than sharks do. True or not? And the answer is? True. True. Cows kill more people than sharks do. To be fair, people probably interact with a whole lot more cows. But there you go. Yes, give me another one.
We'll continue on the cow thing. It takes about 1,500 cows to supply enough leather for the NFL for only 1 year.
What's the number?
1,500.
It takes 1,500 cows to provide enough leather for the NFL for 1 year. And the answer is? Not.
3,000.
It takes 3,000 cows. 3,000 cows for enough leather for the NFL for 1 year. Yes?
In the 16th and 17th centuries in the country of Turkey, anyone caught drinking coffee was put to death.
In the 16th and 17th centuries in Turkey, anybody caught drinking coffee was put to death. True or not? And the answer is? True. Wow. Here's to not being in 16th century Turkey. One more. Yes?
Slugs have 4 noses.
Slugs have 4 noses. Slugs have 4 noses. True or not? And the answer is?
Not.
They have 2 noses, not 4. 2. Okay. Good, thank you. Now, we're moving into session 2. This is going to be in the first tab of your notebook, the Child Protection Plan Abridged. Do you have the abridged copy? I emailed you the full copy. This is going to be one of the harder sessions of our 2 days together. Let me give you just quickly why we have to do this. Why do we have to raise the bar for child safety? We live in a world where bad things happen. And I know that... Uh-oh, what happened? You okay? Okay, thank you. We live in a world where bad things happen. And we like to think that bad things don't happen to us, or bad things don't happen here. And let me tell you, we live in an amazing place. Warsaw is a gorgeous place. And we are in an area where more people here, on average, live their life in alignment with the gospel than in other places. But bad things happen even here. The church that Emily and I were at before, about 11 years ago now, there was a church picnic, and the church, the adults who normally ran children's ministry wanted to go participate in the church picnic. They wanted to have fun with the rest of the people. So they left the kids in care of a teen who was the child of people who work in the church for children's ministry. And the teen had been raised in the church. This wasn't just some random teenager they grabbed off the street. This was somebody that they all knew. And they asked the teen to watch the kids. That teen took a 9-year-old girl into the bathroom and molested her. That 9-year-old girl, 10 years later, as a 19-year-old, last year, sued our church and won $1 million settlement. So, the church has insurance. The church did not go under. But that's not something you just go, oh, well, $1 million. right? And beyond that, this little girl's life was derailed. And 10 years later, when she had the power of an adult, she struck back. That church now is wounded. And that story was in the newspaper several times. If you ask people in Honolulu about Calvary Chapel, Honolulu, they probably will say, oh, that church that was sued for a molested child. There's a black eye on that church for a long time. That can happen anywhere. And it can happen here. Many years ago, decades ago, it actually did happen here. And most people don't know that because it's not something that you talk about. But we don't live in a bubble where bad things don't happen. We live surrounded by sinners. And we are sinners. And if it were not for the grace of God in our lives, we would be there too. So, we don't want this church to have to suffer the reputation of being the church where children are hurt. We don't want this church to suffer the financial consequences of having to pay a massive settlement to somebody. We don't in any way want to malign the gospel. We are the Bible church, right? Let's protect that name. Let's protect that reputation. Let's be known, if anything, as the church that treats children too carefully. I'll take that reputation. I'll take the church that builds their walls so high that it might be unreasonable. Okay, that's fine. I love your child enough to make sure that never on my watch will a child be hurt in my care. Okay? So, this next hour we're going to go through the things that we're doing to protect children. And I just want to let you know, it's not because I don't trust you. It's not because I don't trust the Holy Spirit. It's not because I don't trust God's provision or direction. It has happened here a long time ago that a child was accosted on campus. It happened more recently, the church we just left. The same Holy Spirit fills that church, as fills this church, as fills other churches, where unfortunately this happens. We live in a broken world. And we have to do everything we can to protect our kids. Okay? So, that's my heart. It's not because I want to make it difficult to serve. I definitely don't want to make it difficult to serve. But I want to make it difficult for somebody to prey upon our children. Okay? And I hope you're there with me. I hope your heart is there with me. So, this little graphic is on the cover of your thing. I am going to have this printed up as a poster, and we're going to hang it over the new check-in area pretty soon. And there's a darling little child in there, and we have 15 walls around this darling child. We have 15 things that we are doing to try to protect her and protect her heart. So we're going to go through these, but I'll just skim down them real quick as we go. Number one is the environment. We shuffled classrooms around so that children's ministry classrooms are all in one little area. That makes it much easier to watch that one little area. So we can make sure that no shenanigans happen in that corner, and it's easier to make sure that the kids in that corner are safe. Now there's one class, the 5th and 6th graders, that didn't fit in there. I've got one class in the basement. Sometime in the future, it's my prayer, hope, and desire to move them up out of the basement as well and figure out how to shuffle things around here to make that work. But we've only got one group of people down there. Everybody else is up here. The 5th and 6th graders are more able to say, no, I'm not going to do that, and punch you back in the nose if something weird happens, than other kids. So we've put kids in one place, so we can keep our eyes on one place and know that that place is shenanigan-free. Okay? Level 2, we have video cameras. I don't know if you noticed, but our wall grew black bumps. We now have a very high-level security system, not like alarms on the door security, but video cameras. We've got 28 4K resolution cameras throughout the campus. If stuff happens, we get to record it, and the 3 pastors can all look on their phone anytime they want to and scroll through cameras and see what's going on in the church. Pretty cool. So the cameras are not in your classrooms. We don't need to spy on you while you teach. We have screened you, we trust you, you're in the classroom with kids. Well, we want to watch everybody else as they walk around campus, and we want to watch who follows a child into a bathroom. We want to watch who takes a child out a door. We want to see those kinds of things, right? So we're watching now, and that's a good thing. Level 3, check-in staff. This is still something that we have to implement. I need a team, not from you because you're already serving. I need a team of about 12 people to help me run a check-in team that's going to be in charge of checking kids in and out and floating around and just keeping eyes on kids during class. So you can talk to your friends and see if we could find some people to be the seed of that. That still has to happen. Level number 4, we need members to serve in church, and we have the associate member thing for people who are newer to the congregation. We have full-on voting membership. Either of those submit you to a conversation with the elders where we get to know you a little bit better and make sure that we've got good Bible-believing, saved people in children's ministry. Level 5 is the screening application, which lets us do a background check on you. Level 6 is 3 personal references checked by a CM pastor. I have called your references, all of you that are new applicants, and talked to people about you and said good things about you behind your back. You've all had a conversation with me, most of you over the phone, some of you face to face, where we've gotten to know each other a little bit. The new people who are newly applied to children's ministry got inky fingers this morning. We got printed, and we know that you have not done anything bad in the county. Level 9, you're going through CMU University. Here you are. Level 10, you're going to get cool badges. We're taking your picture on a green screen. Level 11 is the check-in policy, which will be rolled out here in the next month, where we're going to get a better check-in system than what we have right now. Level 12, never alone policy, that's already enforced. You are never to be in a room of kids by yourself. Not because we don't trust you, but because if there's an accusation, there's no witness to say yes, that did or did not happen, right? Level 13, accountability bathroom policy. You don't use a bathroom with kids in it. If you have to go potty, there are potties for you, right? You don't need to follow kids into the potty unless it's a preschooler who needs help wiping because their arms aren't long enough. That's the only time when you need to go into a bathroom with kids, and if that happens, then never alone. You need to have somebody else who could say, no, they didn't do anything diabolical. It was all good, okay? Level 14, acceptable touch policy, which we will go through. Kids need to be touched. There are some churches that say don't touch your children. That's weird. Kids need to be touched. They like high fives and handshakes and hugs and yay, good for you, rub them on their head. Like, kids like to be touched. We should touch children, but we need to touch children appropriately. And so we'll talk about that. And then level 15, ministry removal and reinstatement. If something goes sideways, there are procedures that we will go through to retrain, or if necessary to remove somebody from ministry, but hopefully we never have to do that. I have only had to ask somebody not to serve once, and it was because they taught a Bible lesson that was totally not biblical, and we asked them not to come back and teach again. They didn't put kids in jeopardy, but they said weird things about what the Holy Spirit does, and that's not okay. So we need to have things in place for when things like that happen, right? So we're going to go through these things kind of quickly. I'm going to jump over Articles 1 through 4 because you have been screened. You're in the room. That's what Articles 1 through 4 deal with. Article 5 starts with our layers beyond training, right? So Article 5 begins on the bottom of page 4 of this abridged thing. You are going to get the opportunity to wear aprons. And I know you're thrilled by that. The reason we're doing that is if you're a parent, picture yourself as a new visitor to Pleasant View Bible Church. You were invited, or you just moved to town, and we have Bible in our name. You're like, I like the Bible. I'm going to go to that church. And you show up, and you've got a ton of people roaming around the room, and some stranger says that they'll take your kids from you. Right? You're like, huh? Really? Am I supposed to hand my child to you? Why do I hand my child to you and not to this other person? You're both wearing nice, attractive sweaters this morning. Right? We want some kind of visible, recognizable uniform, you belong here. The last time I was in charge of a children's ministry, I printed up t-shirts with our logo on it. And I picked, no, it wasn't t-shirts, it was polos. Printed up polos with our logo on it. And I got a lot of flack from ladies who didn't want to wear a polo to church because it didn't go with the rest of their outfit. And they were upset because they wanted to look a certain way when they went to church. But if they're serving that, they had to wear my sky blue polo. And so I learned from that experience. Ladies like to wear whatever they want to wear to church. So wear whatever you want to wear to church, but when you are serving with children, you're going to put this attractive black apron over the top. Okay? Now men, I know some guys are like, aprons? So, guys don't care about wearing polos. Guys will wear a polo, because we don't give a rip, right? But girls want to wear what they have envisioned portraying themselves to look like. So, there are more women, the women won. I bought aprons. Guys, if you've ever been to Home Depot, or Starbucks, or where's Jackson? Culver's, rock on. Guys wear aprons too, right? Yeah. Nobody's gonna walk up to the electrical technician at Home Depot and say, you're effeminate because you're wearing an apron. He'll punch you. Guys can wear aprons too, so don't be all put off that I bought you an apron. But if you just can't bring yourself to put an apron on, I will allow you to order a polo that coordinates, a black polo with our logo on it. The bummer is, I ordered a bunch of aprons at one time and they were cheap. If you need to buy an apron, buy a polo, I'm going to ask you to buy your own polo. And you're looking at like $28, $30 to get a coordinated polo that's embroidered. So, I'm sorry, but if you can't do the apron, buy a polo, okay? But one way or the other, we need to have you looking uniform so that somebody walks up to you and is like, oh yes, I'm supposed to hand you my child. Bless you, okay? That's what we're after. You're also going to have badges. And the badges are going to be different. The badges that you have now are small and white, and the picture is tiny and the print is small. And in order for me to know your name and see that it's you, I've got to stare at your chest for like 40 seconds, which probably is uncomfortable for both of us. So your badge is going to be bigger, okay? It's going to be slightly smaller than a quarter page. So it's like a baseball card size, okay? And it's going to have a big picture of you. And hopefully not just a boring picture, hopefully a fun picture. Lots of you gave me these, a couple people waved. Karis Sigler did like the thing, whatever. Something fun. I'm going to cut out the background, I'm going to put you on there, I'm going to stick a logo over the top of it so it's not counterfeitable. Nobody can just cut out their picture and paste it over somebody else's badge. It will obviously be not right. Okay? So your badge will look like this. These will be produced during the month of November based on the pictures that I'm taking today. And you will get a new and improved badge to wear effective December 2. Okay? That's our goal. So everybody will do this. Now teens, your badge will be orange background instead of blue background. So that we'll be able to tell who's the minor servants and who's the major servants. And that just has to do with accountability of two adults in the room. I or Gary can scan the room, and if we see two blue badges, we're good. And so people who are close to being the age of majority, and we just need to make sure that we don't just look at them and be like, oh yeah, she looks like an adult. We did make sure we have two adults in the room, right? So adult badges have blue backgrounds, minor badges have orange backgrounds. And then when the minor becomes an adult, we'll get a new badge, okay? So there's that. KidMin app. This is a new thing. The current check-in system doesn't work well for us. And so it came in like gangbusters and it has petered out like a boxer who lost too many fights. And very few people use KidCheck at this church. So we're trying a new system called KidMin app. The cool thing with KidMin app is it's all cellular phone based. And we just saw that in the room, not a lot of people have good cell signals, but you'd probably do at home. And so what you can do is you open the KidMin app, and at home, you say, I'm going to church today, and I'm bringing Tommy, Sally, and Bill. And you click on their little, yes, I'm bringing them, and you say, I'm going to church, and then you just put your phone away. And then by the magic of cell phone location knowledge, when you pull up to church, your tags print. So cool. So you don't have to walk in line, you don't stand in line at all. You pull up, the app says you're at church. It doesn't say that, but it knows you're at church. The tags print, you get Billy, Sally, and whoever else you brought with you, and you walk in and your tags are already there. And then one of the new check-in team people who I have yet to recruit is going to be standing by the printer tearing off tags at the end of family name groups. And there will be a little table with your tags lined up. You walk up, you go, oh, that's me. Thank you very much. God bless you. Put your tags on your kids you take in class. It took you like 3 seconds. Awesome. When new people come, they're the only ones standing at a kiosk, is the new people. But what we do at the kiosk is we just say, hi, what's your name? Your name, adult, thank you. Your cell phone number. Thank you very much. What are your kids' names and ages? Boom, 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 boom. You type them in, tags print. And then they'll get a text on their cell phone with a link to download the app. And then at home, they can enter all the gory details. We don't have to take that time at church. Then the next time they show up, they park in the parking lot, the tags print, right? So the kiosk is a welcome center for new people. Not a time for members of the church to stand in line and be like, oh my gosh, you're going to take 6 minutes, you're going to take 6 minutes, you're going to take 6 minutes, I'm here, I'm going to miss the sermon, right? That's not going to happen anymore. So that's really, really cool. The other cool thing is that we'll make sure that all of your phones can get on the Wi-Fi here, and you have an app as a worker, and let's say that everything's going fine and then Sally throws up. And you're like, oh, poor Sally. Sally's parents need to come and take Sally out of here, right? So you on your app, you scan her tag, and her parents get a text message immediately that says, Sally needs your attention. You didn't have to call the ushers. They didn't have to walk down the aisle looking for Sally's parents. We didn't have to flash something across the screen to embarrass them that's why they're getting up. It's because their kid is broken, right? They got a text and that says Sally needs your attention, and they get up and they come to class. It's really cool. Also, it works for scheduling. You are scheduled to be in the 3rd and 4th grade classroom. You can't do it. You wake up and you're sick. You yourself are throwing up, and you don't want to throw up on children. So you on your app can decline your appointment. I and your coordinator get a text that says Monique has declined her appointment. Okay? And then Monique can say replace me on her app. Every other worker who is certified to be in the 3rd and 4th classroom gets a text. Monique threw up today. Can you cover Monique? And they can say yes or no. If hopefully somebody says, oh sure, and says yes. Substitution acquired. We didn't have to do anything. I'll get a text that says Monique threw up, she can't be there. Then about 40 seconds later, I'll get a text that says, but Brian can. And I don't have to worry about it. It's so cool. The only time I have to worry is when I got the text that says Monique threw up and Brian can't either. Then we have to start working on other things. But the app will take care of most substitution replacements within the app. It's pretty cool. So for that and many other reasons, we're going to be changing systems. We're in the process of rolling it out. So just note, Kidmin app is an improvement, and it is coming very soon. Okay? Part of the rollout process. I've got a little video.
Sorry.
Take questions.
You said it will text parents when they throw up or they're sick or something, or crying a lot in the nursery, but sometimes we don't get self-service. Are you going to open the password for parents also?
There is an open password that everybody can have, and I could have given it to you, I just don't know what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, we will make sure that people
Maybe
know
a
that.
church bulletin or something?
That'd be cool.
List it really small, especially
cool.
for visitors too.
Yep, that'd be cool, yes.
I think sometimes the issue is that we just don't have service.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's pretty random. Even logged in, we still don't have service. It'll say we're logged in and we're connected, but then we don't have service.
So there is still the fallback. Like if you scan a child's tag and something happens and you don't see the parents within a reasonable amount of time, you can still call the ushers and say, I need Sally's parents. And they can still go do the old school walking around looking for Sally's parents thing. It's just we're going to give technology a chance to be our friend. Yeah, so we'll keep the old way in our pocket if we can. Okay? Any other questions?
Is there a distinction between Wednesday night and Sunday, or is this to cover?
We will use the same system for both times. Yep. Any other questions? Okay. At no time is a child to be checked out to someone who is not on record as the child's guardian or on the list of approved checkout adults in the database for Kidmin app. So please don't just say, somebody walks up and says, I'll take the one in the pink. Okay? We don't do that. If there is ever some time when checkout feels a little funny, please let me or Gary know that checkout feels a little funny, and we can come and preside over that. The parents app that checks in the kids at home also will serve as the claim check. So their own app will be able to say, this person who owns this phone should have these kids, right? So that'll help with the checkout. There's no more, I lost the tag, I lost the sticker. Did you lose your phone? Okay, your phone can do this for you. So that's a good thing. And then you can also, in your app as the worker, you can take a picture of the checkout moment. So if somebody says, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so's auntie, and the parents asked me to take them home today, and you ask the child, is this your auntie? Yeah, that's my auntie. Auntie, do you have the claim ticket? No, I'm sorry, I didn't connect with the parents, but I'm taking them to the family lunch afterwards. And the kid says, no, this is my aunt. And you're like, okay, that's okay. Here, would you stand by your aunt? Click. Thank you very much. Right? And then you have a record of the checkout, and then if the parents come and say, where's my child? Oh, auntie checked him out. Here's the picture. And they're like, oh, good. Okay, thank you very much. So in that situation, it still would be good to get Gary or I involved in that, but we can have a physical record of the checkout. And that's a good thing, okay?
Jason?
Yes?
What about siblings?
I would prefer, well, I would rather say it's adults. But honestly, like if Carissa goes and checks out her younger siblings, she's nearly an adult. Like I suppose we have a little bit of discernment with that. But please don't give a second grader to a fourth grader. Please don't give a, like that's just, no, that's weird. I'd rather have parents and adults checking in and out their kids. I suppose you could say, here is the checkout slip to my 17, 16-year-old kid. Please go get your siblings. If they have the slip, then I guess they've got parent permission. Okay? Question? What? Oh, you have the card. Yeah? Okay. True or not? So.
Will you be communicating that in some way to our parents that their fourth grader can't pick up?
Yes.
the second grader?
Yeah, we're going to be rolling out the check-in system
Okay.
in a more public way to the congregation. Yes. True or not? Who wants the true or not? Yes.
The youngest pope was 35 years old.
The youngest pope was 35 years old. True or not? You okay? Okay. Oh no. Sorry. God bless you. My wife is an amazing human being. True or not? So what's the answer? That's true, by the way. What's the answer to the Pope question?
11 years old.
The youngest Pope was 11 years old. Okay. Give me another one. True or not? Yes.
Michelangelo wrote a poem about how much he hated painting the Sistine Chapel.
True or not? And the answer?
True.
True. Give me another true or not? Yes.
All right, the cigarette lighter was invented before the match.
Cigarette lighter was invented before the match. True or not? And the answer is? True. Okay. Give me another one. True or not? Yes.
Iceland consumes more Coca-Cola per capita than any other nation.
Iceland consumes more Coca-Cola per capita than any other nation. True or not? And the answer is?
True.
True. Alrighty. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. Give me two more. One more. Give me another one. Yes.
In the United States, a pound of potato chips costs 100 times more than a pound of potatoes.
In the United States, a pound of potato chips costs 100 times more than a pound of potatoes. And the answer is?
Not 200 pounds.
200 times as much. Whoa. I'm in the wrong industry. Okay, what else? Give me one more. Last one. Yes.
Every year, more than 3,000 left-handed people are killed from using right-handed products.
Every year, 3,000 left-handed people are killed by using right-handed products. True or not? What's the answer?
It is not true. 2,500.
2,500 people. So not. Wow, it's dangerous to be left-handed. Okay. Moving on. Accountability. Never alone policy. We've already rolled this out. We don't ever want you to be in a room alone with kids. Also because you need reinforcements. Children sometimes are a lot of work. So we don't want you doing that by yourself, but also because if there's ever an accusation, we need an adult witness in the room who can say that that did not occur and come to your rescue, right? So we definitely need to have 2 adults at all times in the room, and minors, we love you, Jesus loves you. You matter to the church, but you do not matter to that accounting, okay? We need to have 2 adults in the room, not 2 minors. There are ratios set out by the state of Indiana in child care settings for the minimum ratio of adults to children. And this is something that churches violate all the time. And we're going to do our best not to violate. So, according to the state of Indiana, if you have infants, you need to have no more than 4 infants per adult. Some of you have more children than 4, and you manage it just fine. This is not a statement of your ability as a human being to manage infants. This is the state of Indiana saying, for liability reasons, we need to have 1 adult per 4 babies. Okay? So if we have 2 adults in a room, we can have 8 babies in there. If a 9th baby shows up, either the mom has to stay because an accompanied child does not count, or we need to find another person to stick in the nursery. Okay? Toddlers, we can have 5 toddlers per adult. I honestly think toddlers are more work than babies, but the state of Indiana says 5 toddlers per adult. Preschoolers, 7 preschoolers per adult. If I run a room with 7 preschoolers, I would wind up taped to the wall. The state of Indiana says 7 preschoolers per adult, which means with our never alone policy, we could have 14, because there's always at least 2 adults in the room. K through 6, we can have 10 to 1. Okay? So those are the ratios. We're going to do our best to not violate. Yes, sir.
I support everything you said. I'm in full agreement. But what I don't understand, for years, Bev and I have been in different classrooms, 2, 3, 3K, and she always steps into the bathroom with a kid that needs some help holding the pants up. So going forward, do I need somebody else with me in the room because she's in the bathroom for 2 minutes?
So
Does she need to have another person with her? In my mind, I'm like,
how does this work?
Yeah.
That's the hardest time to make never alone work. So if there's only 2 adults in a room, hopefully you've got a helper, a teenager, or something like that in there too. I'm doing my best to stick those in as we continue to grow the ministry. Here's how it could work if it really legitimately only is the 2 of you. Is you now have a bathroom adjoining your classroom, right? So the child's going to go in there, and preschoolers can go to the bathroom by themselves. It's the cleanup afterwards and redonning of clothing that takes some help, right? So then Bev's going to step in for that, and you, the other adult, are going to be in, just lean against the doorway, and you're still talking to the kids. But you, like if something weird were to happen, you notice you're there. You're split yourself for just a moment while she helps clean up the child, and then she walks out, and then you're back to life.
that's allowed to do.
That's what we have to do right now. In a perfect world, once I get the check-in floater team going, which I hope to have soon, then you could flag down a floater, and then a 3rd adult appears in your world. And then that 3rd adult can help offset that situation. But right now we don't have the floaters. I'm working on building the floater team. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Safe. In a safe combination of CMT members, if a safe combination of CMT members cannot be found, the service coordinator or CM pastor may, and these are things we can do to punt, right? We can join 2 classrooms to guarantee 2 or more adults if we have to. We have to watch ratios when we do that. We could borrow adults from teams in other classrooms. If I need another person in 2s and 3s, and my nursery has ample humans, I could go into the nursery and say, I'm sorry, would one of you serve in 2s and 3s today? And we can make that happen, and then that'll be good. We could also not accept children for this class or area until at least 2 adults can be recruited. I had to do that a couple weeks ago when in one classroom, both adults were running late. I had to tell parents, I'm sorry, could you circle back in like 7 minutes? I apologize for the inconvenience, but we can't take your kid right now. That's a bummer for the parents, but we can do that, or we can just say, I'm sorry, today there is no 3rd and 4th grade classroom. If we can't get a safe combination of people. We can, no, that's it. And then if that continues to happen, then we need to reevaluate staffing levels, and hopefully that kind of stuff doesn't happen all the time. Okay? So these kinds of things can happen, and Gary or I have the power to do that. Carrie Wolf is also the coordinator of the nurseries and the 2s and 3s. She would have authority in that area as well. So it's our headache to have to do that. That's not your problem. But we ask that you just roll with it if we ask you to do that kind of stuff. Okay? Bathroom policy. We've already said this. No adult uses a children's ministry restroom. We have children's ministry restrooms now in between children's ministry classes. If you, an adult, have to go to the bathroom, please don't go into one of those bathrooms. That's weird. The toilet is small. You're uncomfortable. So is everybody else. Go use the adult potties. Okay? Do not use a children's ministry bathroom. No adult follows children into a restroom. If you notice that a kid has gone into the bathroom and you also have to go to the bathroom, wait for the kid to come out. Like, you're a grown-up, you can manage yourself. Give it a moment, okay? It has been the policy of this church for a long time that men do not assist pre-K kids in the bathroom. That policy exists for good reason. The one time in this church's history, decades ago, where something bad happened, it was a man in the bathroom with a kid. So, because that happened, we don't let men go to the bathroom with kids. Does that mean that I think all men are predators? Absolutely not. I'm a man, I am not a predator. I don't think I have any predators in the room. But since that was the one time when something bad happened at this church, that's a wall. And we just live with the wall, and there it is. Okay? Question? Yeah.
Can you just explain why no adult should use the bathroom?
Because then that creates an opportunity for a kid to come out of the bathroom and say, that was weird. That adult walked into my stall. Now, you didn't walk into their stall, but nobody was there to say, yes, you did, or you know you didn't.
But the bathrooms don't have like a kid's bathroom, there's just the one bathroom.
Yeah, but so like the sanctuary bathrooms back there that are an adult bathroom, at least in the men's, there's not opportunity for a whole lot of privacy back there. So if I walk in to use a urinal and there's a kid also in there, weird things could have happened. And the kid could say the weird things.
We're talking about like the nursery bathroom and the 2s and 3s.
Yeah, those are just off limits to adults.
Right, and our question is why? I gotta go to the bathroom a lot, I don't keep going to an adult, especially when I'm the main.
Right. So,
Not to mention the nursery bathroom, you're not having little kids use that bathroom.
that's true. In the
That's an adult
nursery,
bathroom.
kids don't use that bathroom, do they?
No.
I will have to think about that. That is a valid point. Let me not make a knee-jerk reaction to that. Let me think about that. Nursery, that makes sense, yes.
I was going to say, sometimes with the older kids, when they're in the bathroom, there's some problems in there, like there can be. How do you deal with that?
So then, if you need to step into that situation, just make sure that you don't go in and close the door behind you and nobody sees what's happening. Okay? This is the weirdest thing. And it will be less weird once we get floaters who can be more adults and show up for a moment to help. But we just haven't established that team. Okay? Yeah.
One thing I've done in the past, like when you're taking a whole class into the restroom, like for the boys, we used to have children's church over here, so we would use this restroom. I didn't go in, but I would open the door and cock it open, so it was open the whole time. So I can stand outside and I know I can hear everything that's going on. Yeah, you don't want that door shut. Just open it and prop it open and let them do their thing and come out.
Very good.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, like, on Wednesday nights, the kids need to go to the bathroom. I need to go in the bathroom too. So I have to wait until all the kids are done going to the bathroom? Or what if there's teens that are in the bathroom? Do I have to wait for the teens to come out to go to the bathroom?
So in these bathrooms, there's lots of stalls. And I suppose as long as you aren't the only adult in the room with a whole bunch of kids, I suppose that's the only time when it would be dangerous, right? Because if your whole class is going in there along with your workers, then somebody could say, no, nothing happened, and they're all in there too, right? Again, let me think about that. I don't want to give a knee-jerk reaction to that. But it seems to me as long as there's not an opportunity for some kid to say that something happened and you were the only person in there, then that's what we can't defend against. Okay, a floater team will help with this. And so you can help me try to recruit that. You can talk to people that aren't serving anywhere yet and say, hey, don't you want to run check in and be a floater? Because floating is fun. One more question.
In the twos and threes, so I need to have 2 adults watching as a child. It can't be the teen helper watching the other adult.
So you've got a kid who, this one kid has to go potty.
Yes.
So they can get in there. Most of the time, they can perform their duties alone. Yeah, but then it's the, yeah. So you the adult can be there and have the other adults in the zone, and that other adult is also in the zone of kids, and so is the teen helper. And for that moment, we got to live with that.
But the teen helper can't be the one.
Teen helper cannot be the one in the bathroom.
Or,
No. Okay. Sorry, this is the hardest
or
thing.
standing watching.
Yeah. And the pre-K is really the only place where there's frequent potty assistance. Younger than that, we're doing other things. Older than that, they can take care of themselves. It's that age group where it's the hardest. Okay, acceptable touch. Touching children is an important piece of letting them know that they're loved and protected. It's biblical. Jesus put his hands on kids. We should do that too. And lots of research has said if you don't touch kids enough, they get weird. We need to touch children, that's fine. But we need to make sure that we're only touching them in appropriate ways, right? So this is straight from the manual. Touch in children's ministry should only ever always be affirming, affectionate, and kind. No touching is involved in approved discipline methods ever. You never spank a child, okay? Not that I'm against spanking, but that's the parents' realm, not our realm, okay? Violation of this policy will be grounds for immediate dismissal from ministry and may lead to information being turned over to the police for a criminal investigation, okay? I'm very serious about you don't hit a kid. You don't hit a kid. Sometimes things get really weird, but you don't hit a kid, okay? There are other ways to discipline and redirect a classroom, and we're going to work on that together as a group of people next Saturday. Part of the thing is classroom management, okay? These kinds of touch are always okay. High fives, fist bumps, kneeling down to give a brief side hug is fine. Briefly touching the top of their head, hey, how you doing? I ruffle hair all the time. You can touch their head, their shoulders, their back, their arms, their hands in affirming, gentle ways, okay? You can place an arm around their shoulders for comfort, especially if the child is crying or has been hurt. Holding hands during prayer, that's fine. Generally speaking, the younger the kid, the more they want to be touched and the more they have to be touched. A baby, you hold, right? A 6th grader, you don't hold, okay? So, generally speaking, more touch happens in younger ages, okay? Things that are never okay, touching them anywhere that a swimsuit covers, other than for diapering. Okay, for diapering, you kind of have to touch where a swimsuit covers. Other than that, there's no reason to touch where a swimsuit covers. Okay? You never kiss a child. Hopefully their parents kiss them. We hope that happens. You don't. Don't kiss babies. Well, you can kiss a baby. Don't kiss a 4th grader. Okay? Okay, there you go. Don't kiss kids, generally speaking. Don't encourage them to touch you anywhere that a swimsuit covers. That's not good. Don't encourage them to touch themselves or another child anywhere that a swimsuit covers. These are things that hopefully I don't have to teach you. That makes sense. Don't hold them while they're not clothed. Okay? If you're diapering a child, that's not the time to walk around and cuddle them. Okay? Common sense. This might not be common sense. It also is a violation to disproportionately give affection or gifts to one child and not to others. So if you're hugging kids and you're like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you, good to see you. Make sure that that gets spread around. Don't always hug Sally. And Sally is the hugged one. That's weird. Okay? Don't do private meals or meetings with a child, whether on or off campus. And this is probably only to the older people, but if you are really connecting with your 4th grader, don't invite them to Penguin Point with you. Okay? Tell the parents you would like to go with the family to Penguin Point and deal with something with this child. Don't take the kid to Penguin Point. Okay? Common sense stuff. So we want to make sure that touch is always appropriate and that we are never in violation of any kind of common sense stuff. Mandated reporter policy. All of you are mandated reporters, which means if something happens and you think a child might be being abused, you have to report that. You don't have the freedom to say, I'm not going to report that. And the responsibility for reporting suspected abuse is on you. So I can help you file a report, but I will not prevent you from filing a report. Okay? So if you come to me and you say, Pastor Jason, I think that this child is being abused at home. There's bruises consistent with abuse. They shrink back when I try to touch them in an affectionate, appropriate way. I think there's something bad happening. You must report suspected abuse. And I've given you the hotline here. I've given it to you in your pamphlet. I will help you find it again if you need it later on. Okay, you are a mandated reporter.
Does the church have a form that you need to fill out when you make a call to the abuse hotline?
No.
Because schools make us do that. That's
They
why-
make you fill out the form?
There's a form the school makes me fill out when I call also.
I don't have that form.
Okay, I didn't know if the church did or not.
Yeah, no, not yet.
That might be something to think about as a record for the church too.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Jason, I have a question. Like, little kids like to sit on your lap. And I know in the past it's been, I'm pretty sure, it's been a long time since I've read the book. But it used to be they can sit on a woman's lap but not on a man's lap. So where's the line, or how do we do that?
Unfortunately, that is the case. Yeah, I didn't change that. You're right, that is the rule. That is the rule. And in the full version of the acceptable touch policy that I emailed you, it goes through that detail. Okay? All right. So you are mandated reporters. We're going to do a true or not, and we're going to stop for lunch.